Well, welcome everybody to Luke Plays to Earn, the channel where I help the krills, the small investors, the people that can't put much money into NFT games, find NFT games they can play and enjoy. And I want to apologize recently for no content. You may have noticed again that there's not been much on my channel. And if you didn't know this, I posted on Twitter and Discord, but I ended up getting COVID, and today's one of the first days in like 10 days that I actually feel good enough to at least talk and record for a little bit. So sorry about that, but today I want to talk about ghost card tournaments. But before we do, just another shout out to our wonderful channel sponsor, ZenSports. They have their ZenSports NFT collection, which I shout out every single time. But if you've never heard of it for some reason, you should go check it out. They have NFTs that allow you to access some play to earn tournaments across Splinterlands and other games as well. They have sports betting and different things accessible through that. Sometimes they even have just like guess who's gonna win this tournament and you get rewarded. So definitely a collection you guys should check out or use their ZenSports betting app if you're into that kind of thing as well. But yeah, let's talk some Splinterlands shop, shall we? Because ghost card tournaments were announced about a month or so ago, and the first one's going to be here at SplinterFest. RIP, I won't be able to be there, but a lot of you probably won't be able to be there either. But what I really want to talk about is where do they go from the ghost card tournaments after SplinterFest? When they go online, what is that going to look like, okay? And what is the importance of it? Because I've talked a little bit about it on stream before, but I want to just, a one dedicated video, because I think what happens with these ghost card tournaments could potentially change a lot of things for Splinterlands and the direction as a whole. And I think why it's important to do a video about it, because yeah, you might be thinking, okay, why don't you just go talk to Weirdbeard? Sure, we can do that. But I think some of these things are eventually going to be coming down to an SPS governance vote. That's where a lot of these decisions are seemingly being made here in the future. So even if maybe Weirdbeard has one plan for it, I do a little bit worried that down the road, SPS governance could be like, hey, here's how we want ghost card tournaments. So as much as Weirdbeard thinks about this, it's probably just as important how much the community thinks about this. So one of the things that I have strongly disagreed with is these takes from the community, whether that's in the streams or posts, is this idea that ghost card tournaments should not be done often. They should be far and few between, because we want to make sure that card still has value. Because if ghost card tournaments reward, as much SPS and things to players as people that own cards, then what's the point of owning cards? Okay, yes, I get that argument to a point, but what I want to talk about is two of the biggest problems I see with Splinterlands. Okay, one is the new players and their retention rate, just getting in new players and getting them hooked into the game, seems to be pretty dang low, in my opinion. And then secondly is that Splinterlands, whether you like it or not, Splinterlands is one of the biggest pay-to-win games ever. Of all time, okay? Of all time. So let me start with the first one. Let's backtrack to new players and their retention. So one of the things that's very difficult that we've talked about in Splinterlands many, many times is that starting out the game is not only hard, but it's kind of boring, right? So first, if you're coming into this game, the tutorial sections aren't very great. That's something that Splinterlands can work on, right? Secondly, figuring out how to build a deck is almost impossible. There's so many cards, even just looking at the modern cards, figuring out what all these levels and abilities do, what cards should I be going after and buying, and which ones should I level up is extremely difficult to figure out for a new player. So think about all the games, the TCGs that you come into as a new player. Think about Hearthstone or Gods Unchained or Skyweaver. I know those are a little bit different than Splinterlands, but they're still the same category of game. A lot of those games, you can come in and they give you a reasonable deck to compete. Maybe not, the most legendary cards that's going to get you to the top of the leaderboard, but you can come in, have a reasonable deck, compete against other players, and have a fun time. Like all those beginning experiences of those games, I've all tried those games and I've had a fun time trying them. Jumping into Splinterlands with just the starter cards is incredibly boring because they only give you one rule set right now. But even if they change that, like the amount of bots that we've talked about are in those levels, the amount of bots that just know how to perfectly play those rule sets, and then just having the starter cards is not good enough. So you have to either buy packs, you either have to figure out the rental system, which figuring out how to rent cards if you're newer to crypto games is pretty difficult. Okay, I can go on and on about how difficult it is. But imagine coming into Splinterlands and at least being able to play a couple ghost card matches a day. So maybe it's not that you get to play ghost card matches and it rewards you every day, but imagine, hey, you get to play 5 ghost card tournament matches in gold, and that's going to move you up and down the leaderboard until you get to the final tournament of the month, something like that. That way you can at least come in, have an equal deck to other players for a few matches a day, get a taste for the game, fall in love with it like a lot of us have that have pushed past that barrier to entry on Splinterlands. And then you can decide, oh, okay, this is a game that I want to play. This is a game I like, I enjoy, I can see playing at the gold level. This is a good experience. I want to work my way now to building a gold level deck now that I understand what gold level play looks like, right? So, imagine, we have Allie coming in here and doing an awesome job with Splinterlands streams. She's coming over from Hearthstone. A lot of people are viewing it. Imagine her playing with a deck that people could now go try Splinterlands for at least a few matches and experience the same deck that they saw her playing with, so they would understand and grasp on the same strategy, rather than coming in and experiencing a completely different game. As much as Allie's done a great job, a lot of people have delegated her cards so that she can play up at the higher levels, right? And new players who come in and see that from Hearthstone, and then they come in with the starter cards and like, what the heck am I playing? These cards are garbage. I'm playing against bots that just know how to beat me in each scenario. I just think it could be a better experience, at least to give them a taste of the game for a little bit before saying, hey, you need to dedicate hundreds of dollars to play even at the silver level, right? Like it's a huge investment to get to the good parts of this game, if not silver, then gold, which is, thousands of dollars, right? So it's a big ask. And I think that there could be something great with these ghost card tournaments that players could just jump into and experience and get a good taste, so they want to reinvest back into the game. So I think ghost card tournaments could help with that problem, new players and their retention rate. Secondly, Splinterlands seen as one of the biggest pay to win games ever, right? And other trading card games are like this. Rogue mentioned on the Splinter Talk podcast months ago that even Magic the Gathering or the tournaments like that, right? A lot of those players have $1,000 decks or more competing at the top level. The problem with Splinterlands is because of the card combining, the pay to win aspect is 10 or even maybe 100x times that, right? Because not only do you need one of those legendary cards, you need to combine 11 of those legendary cards to play at the champion level. You need not just one of those common cards to compete, you need now 400 of those common cards to compete. So yes, playing at the top level of something like Magic the Gathering might cost you $1,000 to $2,000. For Splinterlands, to play at a champion level for Modern League is probably $50,000 to $100,000. I haven't done the math on it. Wild format, definitely over $100,000 to have all the cards maxed out. Like, you're talking about so much money to compete at the upper levels. Now, a lot of the pay to win aspects of these play to earn games are to encourage you, okay, I get more rewards, I can reinvest it back in the game, keep improving my deck over and over again. But again, reality check, most people are never going to put in more than a few $100s into these games, right? So to ask people to, oh, you want to compete at the top level of these tournaments? Well, just put in 50 grand to this game. Who do you think just has 50 grand lying around? Like, hello? And like 2 of you watching this? Not even? Maybe 0? Right? Like, that's just not a realistic thing. And I think that tournaments and esports and Splinterlands doesn't matter right now because it's really just a wallet slapping contest. Like, who has the bigger wallet to slap you with? I tried to run with this rookie esports league back, at the beginning of this year with ZenSports, and it was good. But really, even as a rookie league in bronze, it became, okay, who owned the most bronze cards? There was a couple players who maybe had a small collection power, but most of the people competing at the top were still at 100,000 card power or more, with thousands of dollars of cards competing at the bronze level, right? And so if a tournament just becomes about who has the bigger wallet, who cares? I don't watch League of Legends or CSGO esports and think, okay, whose team has more money? No, it doesn't matter. It's whose team has more skills over their champion or over their weapon mastery or their aim. If it was, oh, SKT won League of Legends Worlds because they had more heroes powered up for 10 grand each so that their ability to do more damage than their opposing team. Guess how many people would care about that? No one. No one would care that SKT won Worlds because they put in $100,000 into the League of Legends game. It just wouldn't matter. I wouldn't watch that. I wouldn't care. And it's the same thing for Splinterlands. It's the same thing for any NFT game. Any NFT game has to understand that if their tournaments come down to a pay-to-win aspect, no one will freaking care. Okay? So these ghost card tournaments are the opportunity for esports to matter and for the streaming of tournaments to matter. Storylines can be created, hype can be created, narratives can be drawn because it's about player skill and not about who has the $100,000 deck. Now, there could be a place for those tournaments to be streamed because it could be fun to watch. Hey, here's these two players with $1 million decks betting 10 grand on this tournament or something crazy. Like it could be like a high rollers tournament, you know, like a high rollers poker tournament or something like that. Could be fun and interesting to watch. But that can't be the main storyline of esports. And so I think these ghost card tournaments are the actual opportunity for Splinterlands to market and to show, hey, we have a competitive scene that actually has competitive integrity because it's all about skill. Now, I get the argument of if you reward ghost card tournaments too much, then cards don't matter. Okay, these ghost card tournaments don't have to earn much. But if there's something that's like, hey, we're only going to do these once a quarter, that doesn't give new players a chance to play this ghost card tournament. So it doesn't have to be this exact format that I'm proposing, but just imagine a ghost card tournament leaderboard where you play 5 matches a day so that a new player can come in at any point and experience Splinterlands at least at a gold level. And then once a month, as you move up the leaderboard, maybe it's something like the top 64, top 128, something. Now go to an official tournament that's like 1 weekend a month, and those are where the rewards are sent. So you don't have to give a giant chunk of the SPS rewards. A lot of the SPS rewards can go to the actual owned card players, but you still have a ghost card tournament that's leading up to a cool stream, something that has a hype storyline that's a once a month weekend thing. And then over those monthly tournaments, maybe there's a once a month yearly worlds competition where you literally try to find the best player in the world that has a good prize pot. So yes, you have a big prize pot, but maybe it's once a year. So it's never even going to get close to the amount of rewards that are being pumped out and ranked in tournaments with owned cards, but it still gives players a daily thing that they can work towards and then decide if they like the game so that they can go reinvest into the game and then buy cards and decide to earn more. Again, maybe that's not the exact format, but my point is that there's something that players can look towards each and every day that is an even playing field, so you don't get demoralized sitting in bronze and silver saying, oh, well, I can never be a good player because I don't have the money for it. Like, I'm a competitive player at heart, and I've received a lot of gifts from the community, which I'm excited about, but I'm still stuck in Gold League. I want to be playing at a champion level. I want to be proving that I'm the best Splinterlands player, but I don't feel like I have the opportunity to do that. These ghost card tournaments give me the opportunity, but if it's something like if it's once a quarter, I'm just not going to be interested because once a quarter isn't enough practice, it isn't enough play to keep me interested as a competitive player. Because the rest of the time, I'm just going to be like, well, what's the point of playing when I can't be competitive in the way I want to? Because I don't have 200 grand to throw at Splinterlands. And I never will. I never will. I'll never be a champion player. Maybe with rentals. I don't know. But I guess what I'm worried with these ghost card tournaments is that the community is going to vote and throw out their voice to say, let's not do many ghost card tournaments because it's a threat to our card value. We can limit the amount of ghost card tournament rewards and still give players a good opportunity to play a good amount to prove that they're the best player around. And that's what I want to see happen. So yeah, sure, make rewards smaller, but give them a chance to learn the game, love the game, and prove that these players are the best player, not that they have the biggest wallet. That's all I'm asking for. That's all I'm asking for. It doesn't have to be a big reward pool. So that's what I want to get off my chest. That's what I want to get out into the front of the community. Now for all the poking holes in my arguments, go for it. That's what I'm here for. Just creating community discussion. Post in the comments below. I want to hear why you disagree. Or maybe if you agree, that's fine too. You can give me a pat on the back or whatever. Or take my idea and improve upon it. This is just one idea. But I really hope to see Ghost Card tournaments really turn Splinterlands around to show that it's not just a massive pay-to-win game, if that makes sense. So that's my hope. Let me know your thoughts. Shout out again to ZenSports for sponsoring this video. For now, peace out, Paul Alam. I hope to see you on live streams later on. Now that I'm starting to feel better, I hope I can do some more content again. So see you guys soon on my channel, also on Balthazar's channel. Of course, you can check out content there from me all the time because, that's my job. So that's where most of my content goes. Peace out. Love you, Krill Crew. Take care. Adios.